Beneath your brilliance, your magnetism, your radiant warmth and bold expression, your shadow quietly fears that if you are not seen, you are not real. That if no one claps, you must not be worthy. That if the spotlight moves, your value fades. With it, your soul came here to shine, to lead, to inspire others through the sheer force of your presence. But your shadow says that presence only matters when it's validated. That love is something you must earn through excellence. That affection is conditional on performance. So you sparkle even when you're sad. You show up even when you're shattered. You give even when you feel empty. Because being admired feels safer than being known. Your shadow is the part of you that overcompensates. That becomes larger than life, so no one sees how small and lonely you sometimes feel inside. It's the voice that tells you to laugh louder when you're afraid, to give more when you're aching, to keep the mask on because if they saw the real you, maybe they wouldn't stay. In relationships, your shadow shows up as emotional self-sacrifice. You give your all and then some, often without checking if it's truly being received. You want to be chosen, adored, celebrated. But you may choose people who love your light without caring for your heart. You test loyalty through crisis, hoping someone will prove that they won't leave when the show ends. But your healing begins when you realize you never had to perform to be loved. That the real you, the one behind the curtain, deserves just as much devotion as the one who dazzles on stage. Your wounds are tied to rejection, to being overlooked, to feeling invisible when you weren't doing something extraordinary. So now your shadow convinces you that you must always be extraordinary. That rest is laziness. That stillness is dangerous. That humility equals erasure. But your soul is learning that quiet doesn't mean forgotten. That worth isn't something you earn with every gesture. That you can be enough without the roar of applause. In your daily life, your shadow shows up when you push yourself to perform, to produce, to please, even when you're exhausted, even when your heart is begging for pause. You may attach to identity roles that keep you externally validated but internally disconnected. But your healing begins when you give yourself permission to be loved in the quiet, to receive without earning, to rest without explanation. In work, your shadow may lead you towards status over fulfillment, visibility, over purpose. You may be praised for things that don't actually light you up, and feel stuck maintaining a version of success that doesn't nourish your soul. But you are here to create from the heart, to lead from love, to align your voice with your values, not just your visibility. Financially, your shadow may overspend to feel worthy or undercharge to feel accepted. Money becomes tied to ego, to perception, to the illusion that more equals enough. But abundance flows when you feel safe to shine from authenticity, not ambition. Manifestation works for you when you anchor your desires in joy, not validation. When you believe that celebration doesn't need an audience to be real. Spiritually, your shadow may resist surrender, equating humility with shrinking. But your soul came to remember that true power comes from presence, not performance. From knowing who you are when no one's watching. From standing in your truth even when it's quiet, even when it's vulnerable, even when it's not dressed in gold. Socially, you are generous, magnetic, fiercely loyal. But your shadow may keep you in dynamics where you give more than you receive, where you shine for others who don't reflect anything back, where you become the source of light for people who never learned how to carry their own. Your healing begins when you choose mutuality over admiration, when you allow yourself to be supported, to be loved without conditions. Childhood may have taught you that attention equals affection, that to be special is to be safe, that your worth is tied to being the best, the brightest, the bravest. But now your soul is learning that you are not your image, you are your essence. That love lives in the ordinary. That presence is enough. Decision-making for you is passionate, bold, often led by instinct. But your shadow may lead you to chase what sparkles instead of what sustains. You are learning to choose what nourishes, not just what dazzles. Motivation comes from expression, from creativity, from purpose. But you must be careful not to burn yourself out trying to prove you're worthy of the very love that already lives inside you. Your aesthetic is bold, dramatic, regal, alive. But your healing begins when you create space for simplicity. When you allow softness, when you stop curating and start inhabiting. Your body thrives on movement that feels powerful, but it also needs rest, play, pleasure, time away from the stage. Forgiveness for you can be difficult because your shadow turns it into pride, into proving you're unaffected. But your healing begins when you admit that it did hurt, that it did matter, that your heart still needs tending. Leo, your shadow speaks in performance and pride, but your truth speaks in presence and peace. When you remember that you are not the spotlight but the sun itself, you no longer need to chase light. You become the warmth others gather around because you already shine from within. I hope these words bring clarity and inspiration to your day, my dear stargazers. Remember, the stars guide, but you hold the power to shape your destiny. Now I'd love to hear from you. Did today's words resonate with you? Share your thoughts, experiences, or even your own cosmic insights in the comments below. Let's create a little community of starlight and support because together, we shine even brighter. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more daily cosmic guidance. Until next time, keep dreaming big and manifesting magic.